Focusing is hard, draining, and requires a lot of effort. That's what you're probably thinking, right? I'll explain to you why it doesn't have to be this way, and how to actually be strategic with your focus so you can finally focus effortlessly. Wanting to do a hard task like focusing often clashes with one of the main obstacles: the urge to turn your attention towards something more distracting. That's because we as humans, we naturally gravitate towards things of least resistance. We just want to do the easy thing, and the easy thing to do is to just indulge in distractions like doom scrolling on social media or gaming or binging movies and series, you name it. People fight distractions all day long, but most of us only succeed in resisting these half the time. Why is resisting so hard? That's because you have a limited amount of willpower that becomes depleted as you use it. Your willpower isn't a fixed character trait, it's more like a muscle that tires. Distractions drain this limited resource, making you have less of that willpower for focus, thus making it harder and harder to actually focus. This limited willpower explains why just simply deciding to focus often fails. If you suddenly decide in the middle of a distracted afternoon to switch your attention to a brain-intensive demanding task, you'll draw heavily from that finite willpower. So, what is the solution? The goal is to use willpower to our advantage and to create as little friction as possible to focus, so it then becomes easier and almost effortless. The key therefore is to move beyond good intentions and add routines and rituals to your working life. By doing that, you'd require much less willpower to start and actually keep focusing. There are 4 routines that you can choose from that are proven to be the most effective to reduce willpower, so you can have more of it for focus. The 4 routines are the Hermit Mode, the Nomad Mode, the Robot Mode, and the Scavenger Mode. All of these routines work, but it's not universal because some people need or have different needs and obligations. Therefore, you need to experiment and choose which of these routines fit your lifestyle the best. Hermit Mode, maximizing deep effort by eliminating or radically minimizing low-value tasks. A hermit is a person who lives alone, away from people and society. To be in a hermit mode is to live in the same way as a hermit, but instead of getting away from people and society, you get away from low-value tasks. This suits people who have a very well-defined and highly valuable goal, and the bulk of their success comes from doing this one thing exceptionally well. They avoid all interruptions and low-value tasks because even small distractions can sharply cut into their productivity. They just focus on the one most important thing right in front of them. Basically, being in Hermit Mode is the ultimate form of focus. There are levels to be in Hermit Mode. All routines that we'll discuss have some sort of Hermit Mode in them, but it's this full Hermit Mode where you don't do anything else than just be in Hermit Mode. Now, the number of people who can apply a full Hermit Mode is quite limited, I'm not gonna lie, because it isn't common that you solely need to focus on one single thing. If you have other tasks that you have to do, even though they aren't as important as the one single thing, then you can give the next routine a try. Nomad Mode. Divide your time into hermit days and leave the rest of your days open for other tasks. Nomads travel long distances where their sole focus is to travel to the next place. When they are traveling, they are also kinda in a hermit mode. The difference is that when they get to their place, they settle for a while. They now have time to do other things that don't include the most important tasks, which is traveling to the next place. To be a nomad is to divide your days in the days of full hermit mode and other days where you do other low-value tasks. This suits people who cannot succeed in the absence of some low-value tasks. During your nomad days, you lock in and you act like a hermit in hermit mode who is fully immersed and focused. But during your off days, you work on the other low-value tasks. This division can occur in multiple scales, like a 4 days in a week or dedicating an entire season of the year. The belief is that working for long periods can produce extreme productivity, but only if you dedicate enough time to reach maximum cognitive intensity. This is why the minimum tends to be at least 1 full day. A few hours isn't enough for this method, but we'll get into that. The biggest obstacle is that even a day or more in Nomad Mode requires a flexibility that not a lot of people have. If you logistically can't spare even a day in Nomad Mode, then we have the next routine. Robot Mode. Transform focus sessions into a simple everyday habit with the goal of generating a rhythm that removes the need for you to invest energy deciding when you're going to go focus. Robots have a fixed set of parameters that decide what they do 24/7. They have that automated rhythm. They don't stop doing the thing that they were set to do just because they don't feel like it. They don't need to spend energy on that because it has already been decided what they need to do. To be in robot mode is to also have fixed parameters to decide when you'll focus and be a hermit in your day. This creates a rhythm where you don't need to spend energy thinking when you're going to focus because the parameter has already been set before. This creates a simple rule where you focus every day and basically be in hermit mode but for a couple hours in the day. And complement that with a visual reminder like a habit tracker app or just access on a calendar. Your only job is to just not break the chain. To create that parameter, you need to set a starting time that you use every day and uphold to that rigorously. This suits people who need consistency in their life. By doing this consistent progress, you often log a larger total number of focus hours per year in comparison with the other different modes. While it perhaps fails to achieve the ultimate intense levels of focus like a full Hermit mode or Nomad mode, it does work better with the reality of most people's lives where they just can't afford to spend even just a day to be in hermit mode. This is also the routine that I personally use. I just spend the first 2 hours of my day being in hermit mode and focus on the most important task, which is researching or writing for this YouTube channel. But even this routine has its flaws, because some people are just so busy that they can't guarantee a fixed starting time in their day. Parents of a newborn child are a great example, for instance. To fix this, you can try the last routine, Scavenger Mode, fitting focus whenever you can into your schedule. Scavengers are opportunists. Whenever they see an opportunity to eat from dead or decaying meat, they immediately take a chance to also feast. They don't create opportunities like predators, no, they wait until they can get their opportunity and then take action immediately. To be in scavenger mode means to also be like a scavenger and just try to wait for opportunities to put as much focus sessions as possible whenever you can into your schedule. It's basically like being a hermit on standby. This suits people with unpredictable schedules who never really know when they'll have free time. But I'll have to admit, this is the hardest routine to apply. Because this brings us back to the core problem. The ability to rapidly switch doesn't come naturally and can seriously deplete finite willpower reserves. So pure moment-to-moment decisions aren't really ideal. But with enough practice, it can be a good way to squeeze out large amounts of focus from an otherwise demanding schedule. Now that you have all the available routines, you need to ritualize them in order to create as little friction as possible. Whilst all routines are personal choices, they do all follow the same ritual, except for the scavenger mode for obvious reasons. Where you'll work, when you'll work, how long you'll work, how you'll work, you'll create rules and processes, like for instance ban on internet use or a number of YouTube scripts per session to keep effort structured. And how you'll support your work. Give your brain like enough of the support that it needs to keep operating at a high level, for instance like a coffee or proper food or light exercise or minimizing environmental friction, etc. You should maximize your success by supporting your efforts, but systemize this support so you don't waste mental energy figuring out what you need to do in the moment, because that will also deplete your finite willpower. Now that you know how to focus as effortlessly as possible by creating smart routines and rituals, you'll be able to focus that much more effective on your hard work. But another problem emerges, and that is that even though that you can now focus better, hard work is still pretty damn hard. If you don't have a system to make hard work easier, then the chance of you getting drained faster while focusing or even burning out skyrockets. If you want to learn more about my 3-step system to make hard work easier, then check this video out. Thank you, join the Discord, link in bio, see ya.